Okay, I'm going to show you guys some things you need to know when rewiring Reason and GarageBand together. The first thing you want to do is open up GarageBand. Go ahead and open up a project. And GarageBand is going to host Reason, so Reason will be running in slave mode or rewire mode. After GarageBand is launched, go ahead and launch Reason. And if everything synchronizes properly, then your global controls will be synchronized. So if you hit play, you can see that I just synchronized the globals. And same thing inside Reason, you know what I mean? Both of these, all your globals will be synchronized no matter which platform you're actually selected on, GarageBand or Reason. And then if you also look up here, it will say you're running in a Rewire slave mode. Sometimes though you'll be running in Rewire slave mode up here, but the globals won't be synchronized, and you need to make sure that your globals are synchronized, because that's basically all rewiring does with these two platforms. With that being said, Reason's sequencer is totally separate from GarageBand's sequencer, meaning if I start recording instruments, I have to record them inside of Reason, and I won't be able to like drag those or copy and paste them over here in GarageBand's sequencer. So Reason is totally inside of Reason, and GarageBand is totally inside of GarageBand. And another thing you also need to know is that these instruments will conflict with one another. And I'll go ahead and show you that right now. So what I want to do is I'm selected on Reason. I'm going to go ahead and open up a different a song that I got started here with a guitar loop. And you'll see right here that I have this guitar loop. And if I go ahead and I play this, oh, let me unmute it. You can see here I got a guitar loop. Now what you're going to want to do is you got to set your loop locators inside of Reason. Let's say if I wanted to loop this whole guitar loop, I got to hit my loop on and off. I got to set my in locators, and I got to do the same thing up here in GarageBand. Set your loop locators, you know, right up here. This is your loop locator, and then down here is where you turn it on. And then your whole loop in GarageBand, you know, will loop. Like I could stop this loop, like, you know, I could start this loop from here. Come on. You know, from wherever, and it will just loop what I have looped in GarageBand, and then Reason will do the same thing. It will loop just whatever I have in Reason. So they're two totally separate. They're two totally separate programs as far as their sequencer goes. I cannot copy and paste any of this data over into GarageBand. Another thing I want to show you too is if I'm selecting on an instrument, like right here in Reason, you know, select on a and if I come up here and I'm actually selected, I'm actually on, this is an audio track that I'm on. But if I come up here on one of my instruments, you can see I'm playing both of them on both programs. So I'd either have to mute this one, you know, or I'd have to come down here. You can't mute them in Reason because I'm actually selected on the device. What you have to do is create another device. What I usually do is I'll create it like whatever, a device and just initialize the patch. If you right click and you click initialize patch, then it won't play any sound. You know, you can see, and I can unmute this one and actually work inside GarageBand's sequencer. So there's some confliction with the instruments that you need to be aware of. With that being said, I mean, what you have to do in order to get this information out. Okay, let me show you something here. If I go and I save this in GarageBand, if I go to GarageBand and I go to File, now I'm running in Rewire mode, and I hit Save. Okay. Go ahead and close GarageBand out. Quit GarageBand. Okay, we gotta quit Reason first. We gotta go to Reason and actually save this right here. I'm gonna save this. Save. Go ahead and quit Reason. And then we're going to go here to save. File. We're going to go save. We're going to quit GarageBand. Okay. Now what happens here is when I launch GarageBand and I bring my song up, it's not going to be rewired into Reason because I had to quit Reason first. You know what I mean? So you need to save your Reason set as a Reason set. And you need to save your GarageBand set as a GarageBand set. The one that I'll show you a way that I like to get all my Reason files inside of GarageBand. Now you see here I'm not linked into GarageBand. So if I go to Reason and I relaunch Reason, go ahead and open the song that you were working on, whatever you saved it at, because they're both, you know, they work together. Here's my guitar loop, okay? Now what I usually do in order to get all that inside of here, once you got all your instruments and your MIDI tracks laid out inside of Reason, set your loop locators, your left and your right ones, and then if I hit Command and I drag, that's for your right locator, and then Option, drag is for your left locator, and then Shift and drag is for your end locator. But go ahead and set all those, your left, right, and your end locators. Actually, I can't do that. I gotta quit Reason first. Quit Reason. Save. Okay. I'm going to quit GarageBand. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to open up Reason. Can't export audio files when you're running in slave mode out of Reason, and that's what I want to do. I want to take my guitar loop, open. I need to get that guitar loop in GarageBand. So I can't export that track, this track right here. I want to get that inside of GarageBand sequencer without having to run this in slave mode. So what I'm going to do with it not running in Rewire mode is go down here to save song as an audio file. Set your left and right locators. Hit Shift and move your end marker to the end of your loop. Mute all your other tracks. Have just the track selected that you want to export the loop at. Then go to File, export song as an audio file, save it as, you know, whatever. Set your sample rate, your bit depth, and then go ahead and you can see it just spit that out right there. Then go ahead and just take and quit Reason. Okay, don't save, because I just wanted to get that file out of there. Now if I go up to GarageBand, open up my song. I could just take and drag that right up into my set. But I don't have to have Reason rewired in there with it. But I used Reason to make these samples, you know. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and play that now. You know, so I'm basically just using Reason to get all my instruments, you know. And that's how you do it, you know. That's how you use Reason to expand your GarageBand set. You don't gotta always be running in Rewire mode and you know, and all that. Just do what you need to do in Reason. It's a tool all on its own. And once you have all your stuff, you know, using the global controls really helps you out, because if I set a loop up inside GarageBand and then I need to be in sync with that loop, the global controls are set. I can actually come over here and use Reason's instruments and make the melodies, and then, you know, go ahead and close Reason, close GarageBand, open Reason back up, take your songs and export your wave files, drag them back into GarageBand, and then just go ahead and do the rest of your stuff. Because, you know, you could do you know, your vocals and stuff in GarageBand. Reason you can't do vocals in. But the two together, you know, there's some things that you can do. And that's just kind of some things that I wanted to show you. Some things that you need to be aware of with Reason, and how the instruments synchronize and they will actually conflict with one another. So, hope this helps.